in the Discord as well. Yeah, say. Yeah, Goldilocks doing all right. I'd say. Had a bit of a sort of weird couple of weeks, but you know, back in on the mend. It's not too bad now. A bit knackered, but a day off tomorrow, so nothing one of those can't fix. So yeah, looking at full wet race. So this could be fun. There is absolutely no sun at all. So while we are drying the quali, it's worth pointing out all these drivers probably will be using wet setups. And TD will get us going for Q1 in Zandvoort. Slinging it in around Tarzan to start off the lap. Going round and through to the bank, turn 3, where Daniel Ricciardo, of course, came a cropper. And the next section of the lap just flows really, really nicely from in-car. TD catching a little bit of grass, possibly on the way in. One little quick come down and then really bring it to a point there for that right-hander, followed by a left that seems to go on forever and ever, and then just as you think it's going to keep going and going and going, it cuts off. And in towards the stadium section. Bit of a take on Mexico, I think, for me, this one. Just into the gravel on the way, TD there. Fairly clean from the onboard, I'd say. Keeps it well within the track limits as he comes around the final turn and on towards the line. Almost looks like he was going to come into the pit. The 109.4 for TD to set the pace in this session. There we go. So very good pace setting lap, I'd say, from TD in that Aston Martin. A couple of others out on track at the moment. Deflated goes faster than TD by nearly 3/10 there. A pretty good lap, and Adam there made a debut last week. Was he in the Haas, still learning the ways of league racing, but looking to get a looking to build a bit of confidence, get some results on the board. Daniel in the Red Bull. Daniel Suzanne in the Red Bull, that comes in third. 9.6 for his lap. I'm going to track that guy through the lap now. The only runner out on mediums currently, because we don't have to really worry about saving any tyres for the race here. So this is full attack mode in quali. And ooh, TD's retired in pit. But that guy, obviously, well, in the meantime, decided he was going to catch the curb on the way through that fast section of right-handers. Caught the curb of death, brought it off, careered into the brake marker board. Nothing he could do really on that one. And has managed to bring it to a stop, but it didn't look ideal for him. And it's a marker of how good that time is from Deflated to begin with, because John hasn't managed to beat it. He's on a 109.2 there. So the Haas driver, who has stormed the last couple of races, at least in terms of performance, has got a gap back to Deflated there. Of course, 18 in the session, so we'll lose 3 at the end. Now we've got a few laps definitely still to go in. We're on with Padge here, following him around the lap. He goes nowhere near those outside curbs, unlike his teammate, that guy. And tries to sling it into that right-hander. Coming up the gears on the way out just to get a bit of stability there. And in towards that horrible little bump. Misses the apex a little bit. Seems to get a good exit away from the stadium part. Stay onto this Final corner now. Up and round. It takes the short line through. And up to 8th there for Padge, 110.6. Hasn't managed to jump Adam just yet. This can be a bit of a love it or hate it type circuit, this one. Okay. Bit of a Marmite job. Joseph, I think, was possibly out on a lap there to begin with, but looks like he's backed off to recharge. Watch him go on through this section here. Was he just charging up Prev for that one? We do, of course, have 10-10 out on a lap, though, as well. So you might as well give the Scotsman a watch. We're just going off through the... going off in the no assist chat about the brake marker board that was decimated by that mistake from that guy. As 10-10 goes fastest, 109.0. And obviously definitely shows he's got a bit of pace within this car. John retires out of the session. Ryan is in a good 4th in that Williams this week. Coming back to this league with the McLaren seat of Padge previously. Padge does look like he's going to keep this into the line here. No, he doesn't. Okay. So let's see Joseph get going on this particular flying run. He does need to get a lap in here, as Joseph, in a slightly unfamiliar territory, not having one on the board halfway through the session. Trying to keep it well between the lines and get something on the board, really. It's brief yellow as Ferrari of an angry corgi. Let's Joseph by seems to have it flowing quite well on this one. Doesn't need a barnstorming lap, but he just needs something that will see him through. Ideally something within sort of the 109s, I think, should see him well and truly home and safe, I'd say. Looks again a good, good kind of run from Joseph, taking the shorter run to the line. Burned a lot of energy on this one. Goes 3rd with a 109.2. Jumps John in the process. It was very, very good. Slinging it around on the inside. And watching the run up the hill toward turn 7. Before we hit 8 and 9. And turn 10 now. The Prev looking pretty rapid on this one. As I said, with the home race, he's gonna want a little bit more pace on this one, isn't he? There's gonna be a bit of pressure on him by himself, really, to perform. Oh, TD, you mean you're not gonna get out at all in Q2? Oh, not even gonna be out first. There we go. Prev throws it into 11th place. 10.0, and that's a fairly safe time, I'd imagine. Just up there with Novi, off of him by 10th. Off of 10th by a 10th. Not expecting the not expecting the Queen's dogs to suddenly have taken a turn in that pit lane. go. So let's see what Greg has got on the board. Is a 10.3, which is good enough for 13th for Greg. And again, that turns up the wick on the bottom three now. I say Sun God and an Angry Corgi quite a long way off that time, but Padge looking a little bit closer, only 3/10 for him. But of course, his focus is simply on Adam just ahead. Crucial lap started. Where is it through? Turn 3 there. Catching a bit of curb on the way out, which often isn't the most comfortable thing when you need to accelerate at a fair old rate of knots. Padge has retired. Padge has retired in pit by the looks of it. He's in pit. So Padge is out of this session. And that is... I don't, he can't have been in pit. Surely not. Surely not. Padge, you're going to have to let me know what happened there. That was weird, but even so, see, that's one definitely out of this session. Let's see what Sun God's got in the bag to be able to put himself up the order. Jumps Greg into 13th on a 10.2, so a fair improvement there. It's the thick end of 8/10ths really. As the Adam on a lap as well. 10.5 on the first run was a good benchmark for him. Only managed to squeak an improvement of 0.08 of a second. So unless he can get himself set and ready for another run in that time, he's going to see himself out of the session. 10th down on what he had done. So a little bit more needed from an Angry Corgi. Looks like he probably maybe carried a little too much apex speed in turn 9, but completely forgoes the apex on turn 10 in favour of that nice wide line. And it's 3/10ths down through the second sector as well. So an Angry Corgi again looking like he's on the ropes in terms of the qualification, and he's gone in too hard on the second to last corner. Finds himself running off into the gravel, and that will dash his hopes of getting anywhere near Q2, you would imagine. So, but as we said, that wraps up Q1 there. 10-10, top of the session by 10th to Deflated Wee. Joseph Hales in 3rd, and John 4th, Ryan 5th, and TD in 6th. Those guys, I think that was pretty much all over for them on those sort of first runs there. TD, I know, did his one run and retired straight away. You might not see him back in Q2, depending on how long it takes him to walk the dogs, really. The home driver Prev is in 12th, so will be in contention during the second qualifying session. NRT Frog, good performance to get up to 10th so far in that one. Sun God making it through, as did Flamingo, Eagle, and Greg with Novi comfortably in 11th, let's say. He's going to get the honour of being the first driver that we follow around in this particular session. See how he can get on during this one. Is he all out on softs here? Goes down towards turn 1. A lot of braking on the car just to get a bit of rotation in with the front axle. Through Tarzan, obviously through Hugenholt's box. Lovely corner to watch them drive. To be fair, it's quite a nice lap to watch if you're hot lapping. In the race, it's going to be something different, especially in the wet. Go through turn 9 and out towards now the turn 11, that stadium section. where if you get a Dutch winner, there's a lot of orange flare smoke usually. Flamingo Eagle again looking half tidy on this lap so far. We'll see what he can produce. He uses as much exit curb as he can get away with through the second to last. And takes the usual racing line up to the finish line of the 109.8. Is a good start for Flamingo Eagle on this one. Quickly beaten, however, by Ryan. When I say beaten, I mean trounced. Half a second in it there. And trounced, no, not quite trounced, 10-10, but gets the upper hand over Ryan there by half a tenth to get himself up there. And Daniel, not really a contender in the first session, and John as well. Their times are tumbling now through here. We've got John currently top in the first into the 108s as well. It's 108.9 for John there. He takes him to the top of the session, followed, as I said, closely by Daniel, and 10-10 and Ryan all pretty much Top Gun and Novi. You can throw a blanket over those, over those from second to sixth. Very, very good first runs all over there. Flamingo Eagles, as I say as well. He is only, let's see, he's only, what, less than a tenth from being in the drop zone all of a sudden. So we've got pockets in here. Come on, TD. Come on, TD and your mum. Let's get home. There we go. It's Sun God we are watching through at the moment. He managed to squeeze it through in the last part of the first qualifying session. And to get a good run on the boards to really kind of give him a bit of a foundation to kick on. As we throw it through the second to last, pretty much the last meaningful corner there. And around that bank turn toward the line, Sun God gets it up to 8th place, just jumps Flamingo Eagle, 109.7. And that is a very good lap from Sun God. Oh, Joseph. Tyres are doing anything of any meaning, although Sun God, I think, is coming into the pits. So, Deflated is the one going for it. One of two drivers yet to set a time. Of course, TD, as I said, with Animal Care, is going to be seen at the end of this session, potentially. Deflated, though, careering himself through these first couple of sectors. And he produced looking good run so far from the Alfa Romeo. Will he match or better his teammate, I wonder? Daniel retires in pits. I think that's quite safe, usually. Be shocked if he does get knocked out. There might be a chance. As we have Deflated Wee to the line. Counting it down, 108.8 takes him fastest. And he's beaten John by exactly a tenth. Fantastic run from Deflated. It definitely did look quick. And he's proven it definitely was. Let's catch up with 10-10. A tenth up through the first sector there. 109.258. He's decided he wanted another go at that. As the Mercedes driver is snaking his way through beginning sector 2 there. And is 4 tenths up on his previous time through 2 sectors there. You just wonder whether he sandbags for fun. This is again very good time, very good run in terms of the timesheets for 10-10. What has he got? He's posted a 108.6, nearly 6 tenths up on his previous fastest lap. And that will more than cement his place in Q2, you would imagine. It's Joseph Hales on a run. I'm going to assume this is going to be the first run he will have on a new set. Even he dirtied the others out before he managed to get a go. Let's see just how we can react through here. Tend to get a certain flow to that sort of section of right-handers there. It's quickly interrupted by turns 9 and 10. He is 5/10 up on his current time there, Joseph Hales. Which, if it holds, is still more than good enough for 4th place. Improve it. Who knows? Okay, here we go to the line. Joseph taking that shorter line and up to 3rd place. Just jumps John there, so Daniel's currently sliding down the order a bit. I wonder if he'll be sitting on that a little bit worried now. Getting his flying lap underway. Going through banked turn 3. Instantly got that car out of there in less pieces than what Ricciardo did. He runs up toward the top of the hill, and as I say, it just flows up and down, up and down. As I say, it's almost like a sort of a Portimao-esque kind of first sector and a half in this one before it flattens out towards the end. TD is out on track. TD will get a go. Right now the focus is Greg, and he's currently about 1/10 and a quarter down on his previous time, and he does need something there, Greg. Dearly love to make a couple of tenths toward the end of this run. With 3.5 minutes to go. He's diving into the pits. He knows that's not going to be good enough. He's going to have one more go at it, Greg, possibly, if he can turn it around quickly. Let's see what Preva's got. Runs it out very, very close to that wall on the exit of the banked turn, up to 9th. And 109.6 is going to be very, very close. It sort of puts him well within the fun zone of the likes of Sun God and NRT Frog, Flamingo Eagle even. Will all be sniffing around with that as Flamingo Eagle. Just saw it there as I panned away. Taking to the exit road out of turn 8 into turn 9. That's actually followed TD for a bit. Obviously, usually a pretty good contender in qualifying. See whether the dog walk will have helped or hindered. Let's see what he can produce as he approaches the final couple of corners and runs wide. That's invalid from TD. Might get a lap to charge. He's going to dive into the pits. That's it. That's it for TD. I would presume people are running wet setups, Joseph. I would guess that's probably the sensible kind of play here. If the race is going to be as wet as what we say it is. It's just there's extra downforce, isn't it? See, in the meantime, that guy pushed himself up to 6th place with a torpedo of a lap. 109 or 109.1. Some right up there and among the top runners. And Daniel, as I said, will be biting his nails on this one. See if anyone can sort of push him or can push him out. Sun God will get a run. NRT Frog has backed out of a run. He's done. That's him out of qualifying. Flamingo Eagle is done as well. No fuel in that particular Alpine by the looks of it. So he is also done. The only one from this point onwards, bar Sun God, who has invalidated, is out. So It's TD who invalidated the one flying lap he had. Greg, Flamingo Eagle, NRT Frog, and Sun God, who we will lose at the end of this session. So, session over on 10:10, obviously as quick as, again, the Scotsman, obviously completing a podium of 3 Brits in terms of the top 3 so far. John sitting off of the pace with Top Gun close in tow. That guy, Ryan, Daniel, Novi, and Prev will be the other contenders in this Q3 session as we lose TD, Greg, Flamingo Eagle, NRC Frog, and Sun God from the session. So, yeah, towards the front of the grid. Obviously, we say the bulk of these, we would imagine, are running wet setups. Oh, wow. That's I was going to say, I don't know if that was lag from Prev or whether that was intentional, but it certainly looked like a nice drift around the stadium section. It caught me a little bit off guard as we were warming up to get going there. 10-12, but Prev will be the one to get us going. Home race for him. Didn't know this track as well as anyone really, but we'll have the first opportunity to put a lap on the board in this Q3 session. It did look like it was possibly losing the back end a little bit through turn 3. Snakes up and around the curves. 24.2 first sector for him. And let's see exactly where he can put this one. He runs nice and close to the curb through turn 10. Lying up there, takes a lot of the curb in turn 11, a bit of the curb in turn 12, not a lot of exit curb, you don't always want that there. Not flat enough on this game to really get an advantage on, and it takes as much curb as you can get away with through the second to last turn. Up to the line, Prev sets the pace on a 109.6 and is quickly dethroned by Ryan, who is into the 108s. The 108.9. Joseph is then next up, and 10:10's next up. Time's falling again. 108.5 is the pace at the moment from 10:10 with a stonking lap in there. John pops himself up. It's only good enough for third with a 108.8. Top Gun's moved up the field. 108.8 again. That guy jumps on the end. I think that would have been a warm-up and deflated with a 108.9. Again, you could chuck a blanket over anywhere from third down to 7th at the minute. Literally done. Oh, what? Really? Oh, God. That's, yeah, that's a shame as well, because I think you'd have been up there in this session, TD. That's quite a, yeah, well, right now, at least, before the second runs. Have a look at where Prev is. He's gone for another run. Looking just for a little bit of extra rotation, clearly through turn 12 there, as he came down just to an extra gear to second. Really try and get the car rotated. Up and through the banking. What's he got on this one? Any improvement at all? Takes another 3/10 off it. Goes up to 8th place. 109.3 for the Dutchman. Looks like it's a fairly good time for the midfield car there. He's now beginning a lap. But the gap is already there, let's be honest. It's nearly 2/10 between himself and Joseph Hales. And looking to make even more daylight between himself, and that's not gone too well. Lost it on, looks like coming onto the throttle, really. Through turn 1, just jumps straight off through the gravel, left himself a nice tyre track for good measure, but we'll be looking to obviously recharge everything, get myself all set for another flying lap before the session is out. So, driver error, unfortunately, from the player on the screen. Do they obviously still don't come back for the race, as obviously EA are brilliant. Let's follow Top Gun all the way through. See what he's got there. He comes through towards the brake marker, this turn 9. Makes a good wide line on the exit there, and obviously goes towards turn 10. Like, it was carrying quite a lot of speed through those couple of corners. Really powering on is the driver in the Red Bull. And take a good chunk of exit curb on the way out. Nice short line to the start finish, and up to 2nd place there with Top Gun for now. Jumps Joseph by 14 thousandths of a second. It's a very, very competitive lap from one Red Bull. As Daniel almost looks like he was sideways coming into turn 9 there. It looked like he tried to drift it. Be a good trap for a drift car, but this is not a drift car. Currently is nearly 2/10 down on his current time there, the Hungarian, as he looks to try and improve position. It's not usually a third sector you can tend to get much change out of. What can you manage here? Further time loss there. Doesn't improve from 5th position. Let's see what Ryan's got in the tank at the moment as well. And the Williams driver, not really followed him too much, but as I say, had a good return to the league in the sprint last weekend. Looked really competitive, and as I say, in that sprint race, managed to bag himself a good result. Didn't quite knit it together in the full Grand Prix. I've got 10-10 coming to the line. Let's see whether he improves. He has by 2/10, nearly, 1/10 and a half. And that has made it a bit boring, isn't it? Oh dear. 108.397. That's a stupendous lap. Ryan obviously fails to improve. That guy is invalidated, so he will be finishing at best in 9th. What has Novi got? No improvement there from the Alpine driver. Joseph Hales is on his way through turn 12 at the moment. It's the closest competitor to 10-10 within the first run, as John goes up to 108.6. Currently a provisional 2nd. Will Joseph snatch that off him? He won't. There's a minuscule improvement from Joseph Hales. Jumps him above Top Gun back into 3rd position, but doesn't manage to get as far as the Haas in 2nd. Deflated Wee still on track at the moment. But he's backed well and truly off of that. He'll be off into the pits. And Ryan has already finished there. I don't think he's going to have another go, is he? And Deflated's binned it in the pits. Whether that plays into the setup you've got or not is another matter, but that's it's at least giving you a little bit of hope, hopefully, there. But the 10-10 tops all 3 sessions and goes into pole position for the Grand Prix in a few minutes' time there. John takes 2nd place. A gap of nearly 3/10 between himself and the Scotsman means there's definite improvement that he can make on this track. And 10-10, he is absolutely blitzing the competition around here. Joseph Hales is 3rd with Top Gun the Greek in 4th. Daniel in the sister Red Bull 5th place. Deflated in 6th and Ryan down in 7th. Prev in 8th. That guy in 9th and Novi rounding out the top 10 for us there. There we go. So we are on the grid. And formation lap begins. Of course, we are all on intermediates. The track is semi-damp. Nothing over the top. It's still enough to cause a bit of bother, I would imagine, there. RJ has obviously joined us as well in this session. It's rounds out at the back of the pack in Mercedes. So 10-10 obviously will be the one who I would imagine will set the pace for the bulk of this race unless something a bit crazy happens. Certainly if anyone can go by qualifying, it's it was a fairly dead cert. It was very, very, very quick in qualifying in the dry. But as we always know, wet is a completely different ball game. And wet minus brake boards might end up being a little more difficult. There we go, so we're obviously lining up on the grid. John's missed his marks. And getting ready as RJ becomes the final one to line up. It's a grid bookended by 2 Mercedes drivers. And we are getting ready to go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are away for the Dutch Grand Prix. 10-10 with a storming start. John definitely not with that. And Joseph Hales might look to send it around the outside. There's plenty going on as we go towards the back of the field. And Angry Corgi has stayed relatively low in 18th there. And Joseph Hales has slipped round the side of John. But John looking for a move on the outside through Hugenholtzbach. That turn 3. Doesn't manage to do it and filters back in behind Joseph. It's a relatively well-behaved start between the lot, bar Sun God, who has gone backwards. Looks like he's had an off, possibly out of turn 3 into turn 4, possibly there. Novi and Ryan have changed places. Prev has got a good start, and Top Gun is in a battle there with John. the third position. Had a little bit of a swap of places, but nothing much doing there between the two. And that guy and Ryan side by side. That looked very, very close to being naughty from Ryan. Swerved right across over that guy. Side by side through turns 11 and 12 now, as we have an Aston Martin round of that's TD. And the featured driver with a half spin into turn 11, not managing to really make as much ground as they'd liked with that. Back onto the ball, onto the battle. We've got Novi, that guy, and Ryan. Obviously 10-10, of course, setting the fastest, that being the first over the line. John going backwards big time there. Deflated Wee and Top Gun have taken him. Top Gun has gone storming into second place, and we've got a heck of a battle on here for the podium places. Top Gun, Joseph, Deflated, John, all right there, and Prevers has set up into 6th place after a brilliant start. It is 10-10, who looks like he may well be looking to extend the advantage quite a long way. But for the rest of these drivers, as Joseph tries a little ambitious one down the inside of turn 10. Was better run out of there for Top Gun. Might find himself in danger from Deflated Wee as well. Old mate from last week, of course. A bit of a collision between them, as obviously Deflated rejoined the session last week. But Top Gun, see, whilst having enough pace and more than enough pace to hold off Joseph and co, is also looking to reel in 10-10 here and has set the fastest lap of the race on 21.5. Top Gun looks like he means business in this one. Of course, he's got to keep it up for 36 laps, but he looks like he means business, and looks towards the inside of turn 3. Nothing doing there. Got very, very close to the back of 10-10. Will he be being held up near the Matteo by the Scotsman? Will there be anything doing to the inside? Oh my goodness, turn 7 very close. Had to back out, I think, Top Gun, at risk of losing a front wing, I think, there. Just trying to hold it quite close to the back of that Mercedes. And we'll be looking to really make sure that 10-10 doesn't get away from him. And as Joseph defending the inside against Deflated Wee. Deflated could be under pressure from John now as well, as Joseph parked that quite well in turn 12 and just allowed John onto the back a little bit. John is taking a lot of curb in these at the moment, though. He is probably at risk of doing himself a mischief. Top Gun fastest lap again and sends it toward the inside of turn 1. But 10-10 hangs it round at the top of the corner on the outside. Defends it quite nice and easily. Top Gun will look to set himself up possibly for another freak move down into turn 7. And let's see whether he can pull anything or whether it will come a little bit sooner as well. Weaving around, Top Gun is to the inside of turn 7. 10-10 looked like he backed off for a moment, but just about kept the position with that outside line. Always going to be a little bit nicer in the wet, that one. Top Gun is getting closer and closer to getting a move done here, you've got to feel. He's definitely come to this one with a vengeance. Still probably with Austria in the back of his mind. Yeah, it's a close one to begin with. Hey, Demon Jonesy, how are we getting on? The absolute legend that is. Go, 10-10 reclaims the fastest lap. Looks like he's got away from Top Gun a little bit towards the second and third, or end of the second, beginning of the third sectors, really there. Pulled a little bit of a gap. Top Gun not really, unless, wow, he's got very, very close to 10-10. He's crawling all over the back all of a sudden. up through there. He's not going to try a crazy move into turn 7 again. I'm feeling that was getting closer and closer, that one, as Daniel, I think, has ended up going backwards. He's lost a position to Novi just as we catch up with that. We have got Joseph Hales with John crawling all over the back of him. And there is Deflated Wee now in the picture, as Joseph Hales suddenly moves up one. Had the Haas all the way over the back of that car. Oh, contact. Contact with Deflated Wee and Joseph Hales there. Deflated into a half spin. I think John has ceded position back to Deflated Wee by the looks of that. But that is another flashpoint in the Joseph Hales Deflated Wee duel, especially after last week. Joseph maybe turning in a little bit early. Top Gun and 10-10 close together. Top Gun trying a little switch back through turn 1. Can't quite get the power down quick enough, and going through turn 2 inside is a little bit of a risk as always. Really piling into turn 3. 10-10's parked it well though from Top Gun's perspective. He can't get through just there. 10-10 flashing already for energy. He's definitely struggling to fend off this Red Bull, but he's still on it. On the lead, Top Gun is staring at the back of that Mercedes. Both of them, as I say, we might be looking at a close race all the way to the end. Say we're all good. All good tonight. Day off tomorrow. All vibes. Good racing. Nice stuff to watch in general there. But so we have a yellow flag out in that second sector. Just trying to work out who's gone off there. I don't think anything really of any note has happened. We're going to watch these guys. Top Gun following 10-10 once more. We get a look at the back of that Mercedes again as we have Adam off the track. Back in turn 3. Nothing doing between Top Gun and 10-10 at the moment. Say at the moment, because Top Gun has already pulled a couple of absolute storming exits off of here towards, or then going up, snaking up towards turn 7. But again, don't think there'll be anything doing on this particular occasion. Getting very, very close under the braking. There's Top Gun. It's only a matter of time before something happens in this battle, you've got to think. And cracking start to this race. We've still got a battle on for the lead. We've still got a battle on for a final podium position as well. As we look back at Top Gun, right over the back of 10-10. Just trying to set himself up, trying to set 10-10 up for a move, but 10-10 again has parked it absolutely brilliantly. Meant that Top Gun just can't squeeze his way through, no matter how many cutbacks he tries. Prev, I think, is off. We'll come back to that. The AlphaTauri looks like it's been off through turns 11 and 12. Home racer ending up going backwards in this one. And gutting moment, you'd imagine, for the AlphaTauri driver. Prev with it all to do again. Let's see, we've got Daniel currently with a train forming behind him. That guy and Novi both following him on through. That was spin. Did catch a spin. It's that guy. That guy is round. That guy gets to be fat this week. He is round just out of turn 3. I did think we saw him go. So I panned away. Angry Corgi is having a nightmare. You are right, sir. He definitely is. I think this one's about sort of keeping it in the wet, really, isn't it? No. As I say, Angry Corgi will probably be just about that, wouldn't he? A little bit angry at his own performance so far, I'd imagine, there, as he takes to the... I think NRT Frog had a little bit of a ding-dong. Took to the inside by the looks of it at turn 11. Going to keep with this lead battle again. 10-10 with Top Gun for close company once more. Top Gun trying to feed it through the inside. And again, 10-10 just blocking off the cutback in just the right places. And oh, squeeze! And that one possibly looked a little bit more naughty. It was definitely close to that. I can jump onto the onboard wheel alongside the back. It doesn't usually entitle you to a line through a corner, but it was very, very close and almost resulting in a half spin for 10-10. Top Gun is still keeping with the Scot absolutely brilliantly, as John has the move done on deflated wee. But that's not... No, he's not going to give it up deflated. Took to the outside and looking for a better exit. Couldn't manage to get the throttle down. And John is freed of the shackles of that Alfa Romeo. Next up to the back of deflated is Ryan, who is on a tear at the moment. All of the top drivers. No one outside of a second all the way down to 6th place. No one outside of a second of the car in front. Giant DRS train for the lead coming on here. As we have a Ferrari off again. But we are through, as I think RJ possibly is giving it up a little bit. Top Gun. Ooh. Looks like almost 10-10 took it a little bit easy through turn 3. Top Gun definitely had a bit of a look again. That's definitely his preferred line. And the inside through there gives him really an exit all the while by the looks of it. And Joseph had managed to pull a bit of time back to these guys, but him flowing in and around the sort of second mark at the moment. Deflated wheel also has lost touch with the back of John. Top Gun and 10-10 side by side through turn 10, and Top Gun, I think that's as close as he's been to taking the lead in this race. He's still keeping up side by side, and he goes ahead of 10-10 for the moment. Keeps it to the inside of turn 12. They are still side by side, and Top Gun's round. Top Gun goes round. Don't know whether he's maybe just tried to get on the throttle a little bit quickly there. So we're on the heli cam, so you can't quite tell whether there was contact, but they did look far enough apart. And Top Gun will have it all to do again, and that is so unlucky for him. After an absolutely brilliant race to this point for the Red Bull driver. That's very, very unfair on Top Gun. For something like that to define the race he's having. It's gonna feel like Austria all over again. Tell he was definitely getting a little bit het up sat behind 10-10, but it was a good battle for the lead to that point. As I say, I imagine just got a little bit punchy on the throttle and sent himself round. Do still have a battle for the lead going on currently. It is about 5 ways we're going. 10-10 still not managed to escape the drivers behind him, despite that spin for Top Gun. Joseph obviously managed to get, would have been within DRS range had it been dry conditions. Joseph with John for close company. Deflated's in there, Ryan's in there, hanging off the back of the Alfa Romeo. Top Gun's just looking to try and pull himself back into this one, but losing time all the while at the moment. Still, John hanging off the back of Joseph Hales, one of the closest battles we've got on track at the moment. As I say, all the rest of them also hanging off of him, and Daniel is out in the pits. Daniel's retired it. And we have our first retiree of this evening. It is Daniel, the Hungarian. Getting that Red Bull in. John absolutely hanging off the back of Joseph Hales again. Joseph just looking to do a bit of what 10-10 was doing to Top Gun, park it on all the right lines and just keep him behind. Currently working so far. RJ is putting the fastest lap of the race. 120.1 for the other Mercedes. Now, will John or Deflated get a look at one another? Will they both get a look at Joseph down the straight here? Joseph currently with the Haas for company goes to the inside. And Deflated just trying to, I think, follow him through. John's just about got the move done. Joseph a little bit on the grass. Not clean enough from John had more than enough space to the Aston Martin. And the Haas makes it through. And the dominant force in the last couple of races, John manages to keep himself get himself up into second place, keep it clean, keep everyone on the track just about. Lap 13. Oh! A half spin from Joseph, and he's been collected by Deflated Wee out of absolutely nothing. We have contact between those two. Looks like just an innocent spin from Joseph there, but as a result has ended up collecting Deflated Wee, and Deflated has lost the position to Ryan, opportunistic from the Williams driver. Up to 4th place for him. It's a good one that he would be looking at performance-wise. A repeat of that sprint in Belgium last week. A very, very good sprint race he had. Joseph Hale's the next target, looking at a podium now as Ryan goes right up against the pit wall to try and get this one done. Down the inside into Tarzan. And makes it nice and easy there. Nicely late on the brakes. Carrying a good speed through that corner and getting himself that final podium position. Joseph Hales and Deflated We will stick around and fight it out together, and Top Gun has cruised up quite nicely to the back of these as well again. You know, he's got a lot of pace here. So, well, within a second now is the Red Bull driver. He's looking at trying to regain some of those positions he'd have lost in that spin alongside 10-10 on the exit of turn 12 a couple of laps ago. At the moment, Ryan is towing around Joseph and Deflated Wee. Top Gun, as I say, just looking to get as close as he possibly can to those guys. The top three are spaced out a little bit. So within all the fighting kind of going on there, Ryan managed to get the move done, but obviously lost a little bit of touch with John. And John, of course, has lost a little bit of touch with 10-10 as well. We wonder if or when we will see a round of pit stops in this race. So you imagine there'll be some fresh intermediates going on for a lot of these runners a little bit later on into the race. Doesn't look like it's going to get anywhere near dry conditions from what was being reported earlier. That's just about the right time to kind of get a bit of an undercut, really. See whether any of these drivers fancy trying that. Still following along. Ryan obviously is in third, but battle's kind of going on behind him at the moment. Joseph and Deflated been very, very close together a couple of times already in this race. Obviously had a couple of incidents of contact between the two as well. The one at turn 11 with Joseph turning in. Deflated has dived into the pits. Now, will that force the hand of any of the lead group, I wonder? Of course, it is a fresh set of intermediates for the Alfa Romeo. He has gone. back out onto track, looking to try and grab a quick undercut on some of the drivers ahead of him. See whether he pulls that off. As I say, see whether that forces anybody's hand a little bit earlier than they may well have liked before. It's close. As Deflated filters out back right behind Joseph's teammate. I think he's probably bored of staring at the back of Aston Martins now. It's TD as driver on track just ahead of him. It's quite obvious those new Inters do look like they are possibly a touch racier than the ones that TD have got on at the moment. Runs a little bit wide. Deflated has the opportunity. Oh, quite close there. On the back cam to begin with, but nice and easy, lots and lots of space. Deflated we overtakes TD through the outside of turn 10. And we'll be able now to begin the charge towards the rest of the drivers ahead. Top Gun has reacted to Deflated there. He's come in, nice slick stop on there. Now where will he come out in relation to Deflated we? Deflated filters through. Quite a long way back by the looks of it. And he's come out, Top Gun, right alongside Prev. Which is good if he can dispatch him through turn 3. Side by side, and better exit on the newer tyres for Top Gun. Just about gets rid of Prev, wouldn't have lost a lot of time fighting that particular battle, I would imagine. But undercut is looking the way to go at the minute. And Deflated we could be on for now a much improved position to the one he's got currently. Very, very good strategy call, it looks like, on the face of it. Up to the back here, because we have got Adam and RJ together, and we've also got Greg hanging off the back of NRT Frog for 13th position. And we have Adam off between turns 7 and 8, just manages to kick it back around. Deflated we is definitely getting some pace on there. 119.4, fastest that was seen in this race so far. And has obviously in the process managed to make his way around Novi for 5th place as well. Storming upwards, obviously next up will of course be the old enemy, Joseph Hales. We'll see whether Joseph should pit by the time Deflated gets to the back of him. Whether Joseph's got enough offset to get that position back a little bit later on into the race, I wonder. And he's still got Greg and NRT Frog fighting it out. As he switched positions this time. And NRT Frog looked like for a second he was going to have a look at Greg into turn 3. Nothing too much doing there though. We have now got Top Gun obviously on those newer intermediates. There's 10-10 pits. Let's see if Top Gun can't do anything to Novi. Top Gun, as I said, with that spin, has ended up a little bit further down the field than he'd like, but I think he will dispatch Novi rather quickly and easily as the Alpine comes into the pits. But we have got 10-10 through the pit. We have had Joseph Hales through the pit as well. I think, to be fair, it had to happen for him. 10-10 is out, a couple of seconds behind Deflated we at the moment. So for track position, Deflated we has actually undercut the leader of this race. That is a net lead for Deflated. As the Haas pulls well out of the way, gets off the racing line. 10-10, I say, 10-10 and Top Gun all of a sudden are very, very close to each other. Admittedly, obviously 10-10, as I said, got a couple of laps offset. But Yeah, undercut looks like it's definitely the way to go on this track. It's deflated, obviously, just down to how much you might struggle with those later on. It's a very, very good strategy call, and I'd say it gets him about 2.5 seconds ahead of the Scotsman. See, John and Ryan have both come in to complete the set. And obviously the battle can resume between the Mercedes and the Red Bull. Between 1010 and Top Gun. John filtering in just behind them here. But Deflated now officially takes the lead. Oh, stream quality went well there, didn't it? Okay, so we are back at the Red Bull, staring at the back of the Mercedes game with this one. We have the 1010 well and truly being looked at by Top Gun. Obviously Deflated is being reeled in, obviously with the 3 laps difference on the tyres. It looks like it might end up very, very close. As we have a VSC. There has been an off somewhere. That is a Haas, I think, of Adam. And he looks like he is off without a front wing to show for it as well. So it looks like that has happened through turn 13. Prev has dived in and been caught for speeding in the pit lane. And Adam obviously has bounced off the wall and obviously got away with one a little bit there by the looks of it. But for Prev, free pit stop for him. He's run the first set of inters for 20 laps, and that would have been the kind of thing he was waiting for. VSC at an absolute perfect time. It was costing 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane, and a drive-through for speeding under the VSC. And Harjake comes in and retires, but that is a dismal moment for Prev in the home race. Yeah, we currently have on screen Novi, and he is tailing the Aston Martin of TD, our featured driver. TD obviously looking like he went a little bit deeper into turn 11 from that camera angle. Will Novi be under attack, or will Novi be attacking, sorry, TD toward Tarzan there? He might even get it done before that. Looks like there's a bit more straight line speed on the Alpine as he comes flying on through. Looks to the outside and TD just about sends it in. Cutback has been attempted, but I don't think that would have been one that he would have, that Novi would have managed, especially not with Ferrari coming out of the pits ahead of him. Definitely unsettled him a bit there. As I said, still on track. Obviously, we have Top Gun and 1010 quite close, but 1010 also drawing much closer to the back of Deflated Wee now, and that 3-lap advantage on the tyre life for 1010 looks like it might start to show right about now. As we have a yellow, there is a Ferrari off in that third sector. It is an angry corgi, and as I say, I think there'll be a bit of yapping going on tonight. And there's nothing doing between Deflated and 1010 through Tarzan. See, obviously this is one of those tracks where in theory all you have to do is dump your battery in a couple of places, isn't it, again? tyre grip doesn't often matter when you can't get past in a flowing section of track, such as we do have in sectors 1 and 2 in this particular track. At 10.10, approaching the back of Deflated at a fair old rate of knots there. The extra grip is starting to tell and become more and more obvious the more you see them going together. Decent exit from 10.10. Looks like he's kept rather well with the Alfa Romeo. Will he get a move? Will he get a chance to make a move? Stays patient. Hasn't really gone for it. Deflated's run a bit wide into the first corner, and 10.10 a little bit happy on the throttle. I think he saw the gap and wanted to go for it. But a little bit of a slip might have cost him a chance at getting that move done. It's now left him right under attack from Top Gun, and that looked a slightly dangerous swerve from 10.10 straight ahead. As Top Gun looked very, very close to trying to put his car into that position. Suddenly had a Mercedes right in front of him on that line. No harm done though, and still the line is stern for these guys. Prev comes into service drive-through penalty. But we have got 4 that you can throw a blanket over. Deflated from 10.10 from Top Gun from John, but what will the order be by the time we reach the first corner in the next lap? Deflated practically being pushed around turn 12 by 10.10 there. You say Top Gun close in tow still, despite the offset in tyre life between those two. Deflated torpedoing it around turn 1. 10.10 is going to be close. And of course, you might have Top Gun have a look. 10.10 is going to be the one to try and make a move. Looks toward the outside, jumps back on the switch back there. Deflated hung out to dry by that one, went in to defend the outside. And couldn't cut off the Scotsman as he came under in turn 1. 10.10 takes the lead back in this race, and now it's going to be Top Gun's turn to have a go at Deflated in a few moments' time, you'd imagine. Pushing again, Deflated being pushed around that section of track. Turn 7 there, Top Gun has gone to the inside of 9. And he's got it done, has he? Well, he managed to keep it in. Outside line's usually a better exit through here. And Top Gun manages just to flatten it out really, really well. And keeps himself going. John is going to be next up, looking for a pass on that Alfa Romeo. And obviously Ryan will be hoping that this battle keeps going as long as it possibly can to give him more and more of a chance of getting in at a podium. Again, the top 5, and any one of those could win this at the moment. There we go. Ryan is, definitely right up with John staring at his brake lights as much as John is staring at the ones in front of him on the back of Deflated's Alfa Romeo. Very, very close between the two here. John not going to look for the Top Gun move into turn 7, but Deflated looks like he's had a little bit of a slip through there and has lost a couple of positions as a result. Just saw him jump in. I don't know whether he's maybe jumped on the throttle again a little bit early. Slip mid-corner, and that's all it takes. He's lost 2 positions to that. John filters into the final podium spot with Ryan close in tow still. And yet again, we're going to have this particular battle going on for the lead. 10.10 and Top Gun. It went on before. Top Gun's gone for that little bit of an earlier pit stop. It looks like it's working out well for him at the moment, as he's been able to get right back up to the back of the adversary for the first few laps of this race. Still definitely well within striking distance, you would imagine. It's Top Gun being on a mission in this race. And down the order, we do have Sun God currently being trailed by Flamingo Eagle as well. The Sun God dives into the gravel there. Got a time penalty for his troubles, but also loses the position to Flamingo Eagle. And I say, I don't think he'd have really been able to have kept it, and had a cause to fight for a good reason as to why he'd have kept it. Prev comes into the pits again, barrels in, retires from the session from 12th position. The home driver is out of this race now. Say a dismal stop for him under the VSC. It all looked like it had gone so well, but took a 5 second for speeding in the pit lane, took another drive through for speeding under the VSC. And that has pretty much killed off his race. Padge has ignored yellow flags. Okay. You get a 5 second penalty, you get a 5 second penalty, everyone gets 5 second penalties. And let's have a see, have a look and see what he produced from behind 1010 here. Aussie Top Gun now running tyres that are 2 laps older than what 1010 has got on, and that are 3 laps older than what John and Ryan behind him has got. It might be that at this point that advantage starts to come to the drivers in 3rd and 4th. Still looking back, and TD has still got Novi for company back there. 7th and 8th, these two as well, and to definitely keep an eye on through the rest of the race as TD obviously tries to make his way upfield. Quite a long way off Joseph, but miracles do happen. Crazy things do happen. We've seen it in this race so far, but we are looking currently at what is about a 4-way battle almost for the lead. Not necessarily close, but when they're within a second, it's definitely close enough. There we go, John almost looking like he had a move ready to go into turn 3. Didn't quite manage it though, sort of almost just took a little bit too much speed in there, and as we didn't see where Top Gun was braking. Looked quite close to a contact, but nothing really doing on there. We have the yellow obviously as the car pulls off the racing line. That would be Padge who let some drivers through. Top Gun looking like he had a very good little line through turn 12 again. He looks like little by little he's still reeling 1010 in a little bit here. Is whether he'll get 1010 by the time John gets him, that is the question. Not too phased about those little bit older tyres at the moment. Definitely not the Red Bull driver. Comes right up to the back. Padge just throwing it into the pit lane. That's a retirement there for the McLaren. And wow, we're side by side nearly. Oh, and Top Gun. He looked like he was trying it. He looked like he was giving it a go down the inside of 1010 out of almost nothing. Will he give it a try? On turn 7 again, he has given it a go on a couple of occasions in this race. Hasn't managed to get it done this time though. It looked like it could have been any one of 3 drivers in 1st, 2nd or 3rd through that, but we are still line astern so far. And Top Gun is looking very close. We are going to put fastest lap on the screen somehow, aren't we? There we go. Top Gun's got fastest lap as well. That's your question answered, Snacks. Top Gun looking like he's maybe dropped off a little bit from 10-10 on this particular run. Still reasonably close, but possibly under more pressure from John at the moment. As I say, Top Gun has been on a tear in this one, just to get you all caught up. He started a little bit lower down the grid, stormed up to second. He's challenging 10-10 for several laps in a row. Had a small spin, whilst alongside 10-10 looked like he possibly got a little bit on the throttle too early out of turn 12 while they were side by side. Ended up with it all to do again, but a fantastic little undercut from him has put him right back in contention for this. He finds himself within the queue behind the Mercedes driver at the moment. Deflated was first into the pits of the lead group. Again, looked a masterstroke to begin with, and he did hold the lead for a bit, but currently has dropped down into 5th place with that tyre offset becoming just a little bit too much for the Alfa Romeo car to handle. It's not too much for Top Gun though, as it is at the moment. Another tour here. He's not got many to try and pull a move, but it looks a good run off the final couple of corners. 10-10 looks like he's possibly dumped a bit of battery on there. They all come together and tear themselves apart again. Will Top Gun have a look into Hugenholtzbach turn 3? Not going to give it a go this time. Looks like he is once again stapling himself to the back of that Mercedes. Is it on into turn 7? He's looked at it. To track it now with Top Gun, it's a slightly unusual attempt at a move, but as I said, it's one he's made a couple of times in this race. Oh, little bit of a slip on there. I don't know if he maybe lost it on the way in or whether there was any contact on the front end. It was certainly close, but I don't think close enough to hit each other. We've also got John and Ryan close together. 4 cars, line astern, could throw a blanket over the lot of them. And this is going to be extraordinary last 5 laps here. 4 laps now about to be, but we'll have one big chance. Somebody will get one big chance to claim the lead of this race, to move up in terms of their positioning in this race. Will it be 10-10? 10-10 being imperious in qualifying, quickest by a long way in that. Or will it be Top Gun, who has had a cracking race to this point? Frog goes into the steward's little bad books there with a 3-second penalty for him. Not had too many of those come through. Just the second driver to get one after Sun God to begin with. And of course, gravel traps are usually a good deterrent in this particular circuit on the tour. So getting just a little bit of spacing out, not by a massive amount though. Top Gun suddenly can have a good corner or two and be right back alongside. Good enough. The car just ahead of him. Looks like a better exit from 10-10 this time though. Maybe that tyre advantage is starting to tell just a little bit. And he's not going to get a sniff at a move there. There we go. There's Ryan having a little bit of a look at John to the outside of turn 3 there. Didn't manage really to get a move done, and has kind of lost a bit of ground as a result. Top Gun's having a look at the inside of 7 again. It always looks like it's nearly on for him. It's within touch and distance. very, very close now for the Red Bull. How's the exit? A little bit shaky. 10-10 just about better off, but Top Gun is definitely trying to keep with and reeling him in, and he's doing really, really well to keep as close as he can to that Mercedes. Just getting a couple of shaky exits, just need to keep it calm through his last lap or so. And then absolutely push it down here towards turn 1. We are on lap 35. It means the drivers will get one more good overtaking opportunity into turn 1 after this. You've got 10-10 still leading the race. From Top Gun, from John and from Ryan. All of these drivers well in contention for a win and a good podium so far, as we have a yellow in sector 1. That was the AlphaTauri pulling it off the racetrack, off the racing line there. But Top Gun is practically pushing 10-10, which on these tyres is a little bit crazy. I feel like we're about to see something special here. Angry Corgi is off. There won't be a safety car. Top Gun, oh, had a chance to put it to the inside of 10-10 at turn 10. Hasn't managed it. And stays behind to live another day. He's going to try and put himself as close as he possibly can to that Mercedes gearbox to see him through the final run down toward turn 1. A little bit of curb on the way in. Will he get close enough to this Mercedes to pull a move on this very last lap of the race? 10-10 breaks the toe, goes to the middle of the track, drifting around side to side, and Top Gun not close enough to make that move. Although behind him, Ryan has had a go at John and has come off slightly worse as a result. Caught a little bit of a half spin, a bit of contact with the back of the Haas. That was Ryan's chance to grab a podium, and he hasn't managed to do it. Had to be an all or nothing move for him, really. Top Gun, if he is very, very good and very, very lucky, may get a last go toward turn 10, 11, 12, that sort of run. But this is going to be a race all the way to the line. Joseph Hales, by the way, fastest lap with an 18.2. How's the exit, Top Gun? Exit is good, but 10-10s is just a little bit better. So we come on through turn 12, and again that Red Bull stapled to the back of the Mercedes. Top Gun has given it a brilliant go in this race. He's going to try and out-drag him to a line even, but it will be 10-10 who takes the victory in Zandvoort in a thrilling race, with Top Gun coming through second, John in third, and Ryan managing to keep up well with that Haas to take 4th place. A 4-way battle with the lead. 10-10 still takes the victory. A thrilling Grand Prix, and Top Gun's kept him honest and kept him under pressure all race long. So congratulations to 10-10. Brilliant race under a lot of pressure there. Top Gun, brilliant to keep him under that pressure, even in spite of the spin. Really well done. Deflated was filtered through, of course, in 5th place. Joseph Hales with the fastest lap in 6th. TD, his teammate, 7th. Novi, 8th. That guy will come through in 9th. Flamingo Eagle is 10th on track at the moment, with Sungod close in tow, but Sungod won't manage to get that final point. We'll have to settle for 11th in the end. What a race. What a race. TD has got the game's driver of the day. It's a good recovery to P7, definitely. Obviously, I'm going to say the top guys kind of took off a bit. I think when you're kind of starting from 15th, it's a little bit, going to be always difficult to keep hold of those. But of course, it's also been a brilliant effort from these drivers on the podium, especially those on the top 2. As I say, John and Top Gun providing some brilliant, 10-10 Top Gun, sorry, providing some brilliant entertainment in that battle, but 10-10 in the end, managing not to cede position and keeping himself on that top, on course to that top step of the podium, and on course currently for the championship. Of course, it's far from done yet, but the championship leader takes another victory in Zandvoort. Doesn't get the full complement of points. Joseph Hales takes the fastest lap for him. Top Gun from 4th on the grid, an absolute torpedo through there. As I say, John rounding out the podium in 3rd. Cracking effort, as we said, by TD to take 7th place. Joseph Hales, of course, getting the fastest lap there. Obviously ending up 6th after a decent qualifying that put him 3rd. In terms of the lower order, obviously, Flamingo Eagle, as I said, took the final point. Sun Gold, NRT Frog, Greg Adam finishing the race. We had retirees in An Angry Corgi, Padge, Prev, Harjay, and Daniel Susan. Absolutely cracking. That's another one, obviously in the books, of course. And obviously Snacks, yeah, Snacks I can see in chat. I can see your Snacks. I know what the intent is here. Joseph with a cracking little cracking gesture there, Joseph. I've got to applaud that. That is brilliant. Well done. So Snacks, I think, for a home Grand Prix, or for his home Grand Prix, of course, was planning to give Joseph a little bit of a gift at the end there, but cracking gesture from Joseph. Donate it off to Mind, which on World Mental Health Day is an absolutely cracking gesture, as I say, from Joseph.